Hey there, this is Joseph Clough and welcome to this podcast. This is episode 415 or 644 if you are in my private, customized program. So in today's episode, I want to almost kind of get a little bit into the previous episode because we got a ton of great feedback on it, but also to discuss something that I was talking about on my last, speaking of my private group, we do the private coaching calls, and it was one of those subjects that was really meaningful, and I wanted to give you just like the inside part of that. So we'll get into the second part soon, the meaning side, the extension of it, and also begin with this subject, which is settling versus deserving. You see, I believe that we get whatever we set our mind to. Okay, so whatever our destination is, wherever our goals are, our dreams are, our passions and our purposes, the things that we really desire, I believe that all of us, no matter where we are, can get what we set. We can get whatever we're putting our attention to with the most absolute profound speed that gives you freedom. However, if we just add a few little letters to that word set, so get what you set, can change the whole equation, and it is something that we all, more often than not, actually do. So if you know me, I always go, look, whatever you desire desires you too. Whatever you want wants you to. But also, we get what we set, and we add those few little letters. We're going to say, well, we get what we settle for. Okay, so we are settling for many things. And you may want to ask yourself, what are you settling for? What is your benchmark? What is your possibility system set to? Because you might be going, well, experiencing deep, undeniable, unwavering confidence is out of my realm. So you settle for less than the deep, profound confidence. You might be settling for bad relationships. And we'll get into the reasons why soon. But we're settling maybe for certain income. So maybe your income is $2,000, £2,000, or even $50,000. You might be settling for that, and that is, therefore, what we get. We either get it or slightly less. So really ask yourself, what are you settling for in your life, in your health, in your relationships, in your business, in your career, in your finances? Because whatever you settle for is going to be your glass ceiling. It's going to be the maximum that you're going to receive unless you get one of those pleasant surprises of evidence which tells you otherwise. But more often than not, we are settling for that. And the thing is, we're not even consciously settling most of the time. That's one of the biggest problems. That is why hypnosis is so profound. Because hypnosis works with your unconscious mind. It is designed to bypass you consciously, if you hit on the right core issue, that you get what you want on autopilot, on autopilot even. So the feelings you want, the beliefs you want, the ideas that you want, but usually the unconscious mind is the settler, where it should be the getter. And I also believe that the conscious mind is the goal setter, and your unconscious mind should be therefore the goal getter. But if it is settling, if it's in control of the setting of your experience, if it's in control of the requirements or the criteria of getting a level of success, we are totally out of control of our life. We are so deeply out of sync with our unconscious mind that it's just running by itself. I always like the phrase, who's driving the bus? Because we should be the driving force behind all our success. But the unconscious mind can be firmly in the driving seat and take us to destinations we totally do not want to go. And we have to, if you want success, that is, we have to Become totally conscious of what we're settling for. That is step number one, becoming conscious of what you're settling for. More often than not, it's unconscious, so therefore you just live in the experience and the results because of it. Unfortunately, it just reaffirms itself, but once you become conscious, you have at least the ability to do something about it. So ask yourself, what are you settling for in life? Because what you're settling for is what you're setting yourself up for. And that can be the fear of failure, the fear of not being enough, the fear of what other people think. It could be the limiting beliefs, for the emotions like anger, sadness, fear, guilt, and hurt could be your benchmark. It could be the thing that your unconscious mind is using as its internal navigation system. Now, if you do anything based on fear, if you do anything based on anxiety, you're going to get crazy bad, indifferent results all the time. Or you can get very consistent bad results. But you're not going to really get the good, profound results until you become aware of what you're settling for. Now, once you become aware of it, write it down. More often than not, we always have these thoughts in our head, the ideas, the internal conversations, the internal critic, the continued self-internal talk that just feeds upon itself. But once you get it out on paper, even if you press pause right now, write it down on a piece of paper or on your phone or whatever it is, ideally the paper for the kinesthetic touch, it means you can get it out of your system. When you get it out of your system, you can think clearer. You can go, wow, is this really what I'm preparing to settle for? Is this something that I'm prepared? Let's go real harsh and deep here. It might make you a little bit unhappy, but let's be honest, we got to get clear and have all the clarity we need if we're really wanting to change. We have to think about it and go, am I prepared to stay the same? Am I prepared to keep myself in pain? Am I prepared to keep getting the same results I've always had, the same bad relationships, the same bad income? All of those things, you have to ask yourself that question once you're aware of what's really popping up for what you're settling for is, am I prepared to remain in this pain? It is a hard and deep question. But until you ask that question, how are we ever going to really change? Because the reason why we're settling is based on a few bits of internal criteria at an unconscious level. Now, that criteria is based like this. The beliefs that you have will set up what you settle for. For example, if you believe that money is a bad thing, you will settle for little or no money, because that is your framework for your reality. If you believe that all men or all women cheat or abusive, guess what? That is what you're settling for, and that is what you'll get. And I'll give you the other reason why that is the case as well. But also, if we go on to different things about our health, if you are believing you cannot get healthy, that you cannot lose weight, then guess what? You're sending out that criteria to settle for in your health. Same thing for business, same thing for your career. Same thing for your confidence. You might believe that it'll work for others but not me, therefore we settle for their unhappiness or the disappointment in our life. So the beliefs that we have will be one factor. The other factor is maybe our values. Your values of what you believe to be true are going to be the driving force of your momentum, positively or negatively. For example, if we broach up on the subject of the money, maybe you have a negative association around money. Maybe there's fear and scarcity. So therefore, your value when you think of money is actually creating more fear. So therefore, you repress or you actually push away opportunities because you believe that money is a scarcity thing or an evil thing or a hard thing to come by. Same thing for relationships, same thing for confidence. Your values on what you believe you are worth will dictate what you get. And then, if we've said beliefs are one, we just said about our values are things which drive us forward or actually repel things. And then lastly, our experience. Our experience will dictate. You see, when we go through life, I believe that we came into this world beautifully whole, pure, innocent, and full of just pure. Hey, I'm going to just say, I believe we're at the essence of us, we are love. I believe that we are wholeness. I believe that we are peace. I believe that we are contentment. And then we come into this world and we go through life experiences, and based on the kind of experiences we have, for example, if we go for an experience which hurt us and we then come to the conclusion of that belief system, will dictate what we get, what we're setting up in our mind. So you might be setting yourself up for failure. You might be setting yourself up for the lack of progress based on your experience, which creates a decision at an unconscious level. Now, I'll say that again really because our beliefs and our values are unconscious. And they come into fruition based on the experiences we go through. And that creates what we're settling for. Now, what if you were to change that? What if you had epiphanies or insights or transformations, a process that will cause you to make you change your course of your trajectory of where you're heading, to be free of that? So rather settling, we're going into deserving to be wealthy, deserving to be healthy, deserving as your birthright, as a whole individual of deep confidence, self-belief in getting what you want because it wants you to. You will then open yourself up to all the possibilities around you. You will notice all of those things which held you back were illusions created through experience. Because if you are settling for something, but someone else who went through the same or similar experience came to a different conclusion and didn't settle, it shows there is evidence that you can change. There's someone else, and I can definitely know this to be true. No matter what experience you've been in, there have been people throughout history who've gone through the same or very, very similar experiences, yet thrived because of it. And sometimes, when we go on to that living a life of meaning, the settling for the unhappiness, the settling of the fear and the scarcity and self-doubt, creates that lack of meaning. It causes us to stop. Why? Because our unconscious mind is screaming danger. It is screaming with all the anxiety, with all the fears, worries, and doubts that what if you get hurt? What if you do make that change? What happens next? How is it going to affect my identity? Because guess what? Our issues usually become a form of our identity. I am a depressed person. I am not good enough. Those I am statements will dictate you, but that is not who you are. That was created within you unconsciously to try to protect you, to keep you in your comfort zone. But it got out of control. It got so out of control that even in the opportunity to change, your unconscious mind said, what if? And those what ifs, the I am nots, which we perceive to be our identity, will be tripping us up, self-sabotaging every aspect of happiness. But it doesn't have to be that way. You see, when you decide to transform, when you make a commitment to yourself that you refuse for settling, you refuse to have the same, and instead that you make the conscious decision that you are more than this, even if you don't know how yet, but you know deep down that part of you which was always whole, wants more, wants to be safer, wants to be better, wants more wealth, wants more happiness, all those things, wants better relationships, wants that career progression, wants to be of purpose, wants that meaning of life, the life of meaning. When you make that decision that you're no longer prepared to stay the same, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to be resourceful, to be flexible in your behavior, in the ability to decide differently, to commit to a profound level that once you do will allow you to gain back all that time. Because I think I may have talked about on the last episode, if I was on the call, that it's almost, I like to weigh up my time as little slots of time. If I have 100 units in my day, what am I spending that time on? You see, if I spent all my time on getting rid of the one thing which is creating everything, and I say, look, I'm going to spend, I know I've got some time slots for work, I've got time slots for being a mother or a father, I've got some time slots for sleeping and eating, but every other remaining time slot that you have available should be invested into your success. Because it's not being invested into your self-development, it's being invested elsewhere. And usually it's not an investment, it's actually a negative time energy. So watching TV, watching movies, going out drinking, doing all those things. If you're spending more time doing habits and behaviors which are decreasing your happiness, or at the very least keeping you stuck, then you are putting your energy in the wrong place. You have to decide that actually I'm going to use each unit of my freely available time to get what I want out of life, to be who I've always wanted to be. So the remaining time units, once I've made that change, when I do socialize, I'm doing it with deep, unwavering confidence and happiness, lifting people up. With the remaining units of time, I'm in my business or in my job, being the best that I can be to deliver the service and be able to become more wealthy. I'm going to spend all that time of the remaining units of my life having solved my issue to be able to then have the most beautiful connecting relationship. To be the best partner, father, mother, sister, brother, sibling, whatever it is, right? We have to choose wisely. So ask yourself right here, right now, hold the mirror to your face and go, am I prepared to keep settling for the same old? Settling for the pain, emotional pain. Am I prepared to keep this? Or am I wanting to do something different? Am I going to decide to be different? Now, if you go, do you know what, Joseph? I'm actually okay and I'm at peace with my issues, because that's okay. Not everyone wants to deeply change. They'll find immediate value from watching TV or through escapism or whatever it is. Look, and that's no problem. I mean, to me, it would be a problem, right? I want to be able to live life fully with freedom, because I know what it's like to have anxiety. I know what it's like to have had all the psychological issues I had for the first 18 or so years of my life. I know the difference of what it was like then to where I am now. But we can't force people to change. And sometimes people are unwilling to invest time or even money. And to talk about that, do you know what? I take so much pride in investing money within myself than anything else. Like, I could buy something, or I could invest in me. I could go out to dinner, or invest in me. I could be wanting the shiny objects, or invest in me. You see, those shiny objects, that dinner, the movies, whatever it is a temporary short-term escapism which can add value, but it will never add as much value as having invested in yourself. So money investing, I'm so proud of that. Like, I feel like that's a right that we should be doing that first, because I know when I get my head right, my body right, everything else that I then purchase is actually used to its fullest. Does that make sense? That once I am clean and clear in who I am, feeling so confident and happy and at peace, everything else, the relationships, the physical things, will only add to that happiness. But without that deep wholeness, how is anything able to fulfill that whole? It's just not. If it is, it'll be temporary and we'll have to keep on acquiring more and more and more to fulfill it. So, that is absolutely okay. So invest in yourself. You're the greatest stock available, because without you, then you're not here. So you may as well invest in your stock, invest in your time, and get the real life of meaning. So rather settling, you turn it into deserving. I deserve all that I desire. I deserve to be worthy and good enough. And when you make that decision, you will then find the solution right in front of you. So know that to be true. Really ask those questions. Hold that mirror to your face, because it's when happiness begins. Your time can be now if you choose. There's so much to be experienced through joy and bliss, to feel good for no reason other than for feeling good. When you do that, life will never be the same. Now, if you want that fully customized and tailored experience to take you from where you are to where you totally want to be, all within a short period of time, say at the most 8 weeks, you can easily do that. It can be customized. We can walk you through it. We can handhold you through it. We can speak and coach you through it in such a customized experience that it was built for your unconscious mind, which is running the issue, to rewire it to success. Now, in order to do that, you must put yourself first for a while. You should always put yourself first, but in the initial moment, put yourself first, because when you do, everyone else will get the greatest value. Now, in order to do that, if you're ready, willing, and committed, and if we can decide with you that you are absolutely able to achieve that result through our 100% success system, we will show you how, and maybe, if we can, we'll invite you into the program, which means you get everything customized for your needs. Nothing generic, all for you. The one-to-one, the group, the custom stuff that will set you free. Just go to josephclough.info. You will then book a time to speak to one of our coaches, and then fill out a questionnaire, and then we will speak to you with that information on the questionnaire. We will see if we can support you and get you to where you are, to where you want to be, all within 8 weeks, and make the deepest transformation in your whole life, the biggest and the best. So just go to josephclough.info/go. josephclough.info/go. And that means we can support you each step of the way in the quick, as powerfully as possible. So have a wonderful day. Utilize this moment to really understand that you are worth so much more. You don't have to settle, because you deserve all the happiness that you crave. Speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.